Hey guys, this is Joey Ryan with Pool Player Podcast. Welcome to the first ever Pool Player Podcast One Pocket Power Rankings. Kind of had this idea and I said, you know what? I see it in football and I think it's kind of cool. You go through and you look at the rankings of the different teams. So why not rank the top one pocket players in the country, actually the world? And so instead of just me creating the rankings, I said, well, let's get together a really good team, and then we'll kind of take the averages, and I'll explain the methodology in a minute. But I just want to introduce you to the three folks that join me on the panel. We have Mike Davis, pro pool player out of North Carolina. We have Oscar Dominguez, pro pool player out of California and room owner. And we have Molina Mike, pool insider, and he's in Texas. So between the four of us, we have all four time zones covered. And so, the hope is that we would be spread across the country and have a pretty good idea of people all throughout the United States. So what we did is we took a spreadsheet and we just ranked, without seeing each other's spreadsheet, we just ranked who we thought were like the top 18 one pocket players. And from that, we were able to come up with a list of the top 15 players. And, since the lists weren't exactly the same, there's about 6 honorable mentions that popped up. So what I wanted to do is kind of run through each of the players and we'll chatter about them a little bit here and there. And we'll kind of see what you guys think. And if you like it, hit the like button, share it, and make sure to subscribe. And so let's just go ahead and jump right in. So in the honorable mention category, we have Oscar Dominguez. You heard of that guy?
What a bum.
So I think, Molina, you gave Oscar a little bit of a hard time for putting himself in the honorable mention category, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I mean, how can you not? It was you did. I haven't seen Oscar play a ton of one pocket. Was it early this year whenever he played John? I know what stream, but or was it last year?
That was this year, and I played him last year. I played John a couple of times.
Yeah,
I played him
and then
4 times total.
we just saw you go and play Mika, which was pretty interesting. I'm not quite sure where you would throw Mika of all players into that list, but yeah, Oscar can move a little bit, and he can go and run out. So, but he can serve a damn good beer too. So,
Hey, Oscar, I was pretty impressed. You tied Mika and Knots in that match, so I think you do deserve to be in there.
did, man.
Well, I mean, he lacks experience in moving aspect, and I honestly felt really uncomfortable pocketing because I hadn't been playing much. So I kind of just knitted him up the whole time, just made life miserable for him. Eventually, some of my banks started falling, and some of the shots that were shooting that were cutting the balls to get it close were going in. I play okay sometimes, but I felt like, there's so many great players out there. I've lost to a lot of them, and I've donated to many of them. I think I've earned, like a top 25 in there.
Well, congratulations on making the list. So,
Thanks.
Yeah. You did real well to outmove a guy. If your pocketing is off and you outmove him that bad and still beat him, then you know what you're doing.
Well, sometimes.
all right.
But Mika was always going to go and fire at everything, though. Like that was it had to have been the game plan. You're not going to go and run more balls than the guy because the guy's such a strong straight pull player.
Yeah.
So you had a game plan and it worked out because after a while, it seemed like the second day he was trying to play more one pocket at the beginning, and then that whole game plan just went out the fucking door, and he was like, "Oh, a bank? All right, let's go and do that one, even though I'm going to sell out 3." So, but it was a fun match.
Yeah. So checking in at the next honorable mention spot, we have Double J Jeremy Jones.
I'll start here. I think he's the best commentator in the world. I'm always buying the streams more so to watch Jeremy's commentary than the actual match itself because you can learn so much more than just the one shot. So that, I got a ton of respect for Jeremy. His moving is as good as just about anybody. So
For sure.
yeah, so that's why he's got to at least be up there, in that top 20 still, maybe top 15, depending who's rating it. But he doesn't shoot quite as straight as he maybe did at one time, or as some of the young guys. But yeah, the knowledge is there.
Yeah, and he's
No,
actually.
you hit
Oh, sorry, Mike.
you hit it on the head, Mike. And I think Jeremy just got like, I think it was like 3 or 4 in the Buffaloes tournament last year, and I think we all know how strong of a tournament and how strong of a field that is every year. I think he was like one of the second lowest in the Calcutta, but he's kind of got like this like Warren Kiamko. I'm just gonna go and like grind every single ball, and I'm just gonna chip away at you like 1, 2 at a time. Like you said, he's not gonna go and outshoot you, but he's a mover and he's got nothing but time. And those games where Jeremy can go and grind on you, but he can get there, man.
Yeah.
I had him a little bit higher than some of you guys did, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say one of the people I modeled my one pocket approach was Jeremy Jones, and I know I'm probably on his shit list right now because I bet on Team USA, or excuse me, Team Hero. And I'm not saying that to butter him up because I'll be honest, I don't give a damn what anyone thinks. But he knows the game better than most. I'm talking like top 5, in my opinion, in the world in terms of knowledge.
Yeah.
His execution, obviously, he's not 26 anymore, and he puts a little bit too much baby powder sometimes and sweats, and I get it. He's not as active as he used to be, so his execution is going to suffer. But when it comes to pure knowledge and moving and decision making, I feel he's top 5 in the world, but his execution's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this next guy is someone that I didn't rank because, frankly, I don't know too much about him, but it's Jason Jaybird Brown. So, Mike, I think you know him. He's kind of from your area. You want to start us off there?
Yeah, he's from, I believe, South Carolina originally, maybe North Carolina, but he was already a really good player when he was young, and then he went to Texas, and I think ended up hanging out watching Jeremy play specifically. I'm sure a lot of other guys, but when he came back from Houston, he was just robbed everybody around here, and he barely plays pool now, but he came out and won the North Carolina State One Pocket Championship last year. His own friends wouldn't buy him in the auction. They said he hadn't hit a ball in 8 months. I buy him in the auction for, he went pretty cheap after not playing, and his own friends wouldn't bid on him. And he ends up beating Tony Chohan and then double dips Josh Roberts after not hitting the ball for 8 months. I mean, he moves like a ghost. So it's really, really impressive. And then I don't know if he's played any pool again since then because I haven't seen the guy.
Wow.
Yeah,
he's
just
probably
a working guy.
Yeah, he's probably
great.
He's probably one of those guys that would not want to be on this list. Is that pretty safe to say?
Probably not. He never really played a major event that I know of until he was about 40 years old. He was a good player since he was a teenager, but he actually came out in the first major event that I ever heard of him playing when they did at the Super Billiard Expo. They did a big one pocket tournament that year. He beat Corey Deuel in the finals. So your first time coming off the stall and playing in a pro event, go ahead and snap Corey Deuel off, snap off the whole tournament. And then, like I said, he might barely play pool for who knows how long, but he's very capable.
Yeah, I met Jason in Vegas. He asked me for a spot, and I'm like, have a wonderful day.
You'd heard about him for sure.
Yeah, and I, of course, I see him move. I see the way he strikes the ball. I mean, obviously, he doesn't have the big flashy game of Tony Chohan, who's going to move 16 balls to your side in one shot. No, he's going to nip tuck you and make you foul on purpose and get you in the negatives and really grind you out. And he's a straight shooter, but obviously not as straight as the elite players, but nobody is.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the next one. I'm sure you're pretty familiar with this guy, Oscar, John Schmidt. He actually, two of us didn't rank him, and two of us did have him in the honorable mention. Actually, I think it was you, Oscar, that had him ranked number 13. So you had him ranked the highest.
The reason why I ranked him so high is because he's his own worst enemy. and John's not active, and for good reason. I don't blame him. I'm not too active myself. If he's motivated, he's dangerous, and that's why I felt like he's earned enough accolades at One Pocket to still be up there. Because in two or 3 months, I think he'll hit a gear again and start playing really well. He does a lot of things well. Obviously, running the ball's probably as good as anybody. Probably, if there is a weakness to him, if it is, it's like the long tester shots, where you're down table and you got to fire a ball in, just because, again, he's not active, so his shot making is going to decline a little bit. I've played him. Like I said, I've played him 4 times, high stakes pool, and I played over my head and I won a few, but he outplays me, and I think he outplays a lot of people, but he just misses balls.
Is he a good guy to gamble with?
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, never a problem.
Yeah, seems like it. Anybody else on John?
With that knowledge of straight pool, with that knowledge of straight pool and being able to manipulate the rack and be creative and combos that go along with straight pool, I'd imagine he'd be pretty solid in One Pocket. You just don't see him too often out playing any kind of One Pocket events or anything like that.
Mike, you know John pretty well too. He spent some time back east too.
Yeah, I mean, I've hung out with him at a bunch of tournaments. I actually bet with him when he played Richie Rich in One Pocket in Florida, and he won us some money that particular time, but then he lost to Richie at the Derby, and he's been trying to get Richie to play again ever since. He's like begging Richie for a rematch, and I don't think it's going to happen, but yeah, they got a little rivalry to him, but yeah, he can play. It's just like Oscar said, he's just not very active anymore, and that's why I didn't rank him, I don't think, as high as Oscar did, whatever, but if he was to play pool again every day for a few months, then absolutely, I'd rank him pretty high. But since he's not, like, even though he's got all the knowledge in the world, you have to be in competition, It's just tough to get up and play with the top guys when you're not really competing very often.
Yeah. So let's talk about a guy who is competing pretty often, but maybe not so much One Pocket, but still plays the game really well, Sky Woodward. What do you guys think? Molina, start us off with Sky. What do you think about his One Pocket game? We all had him ranked right about on the edge of the top 15.
I think he's underrated. Obviously, he's known more for rotation and bar box and, 9-ball. But a year ago, like the Sky from a year ago, because, 2020 just been nuts, but Sky from a year ago, he pockets balls well. He banks the balls, top 5 in the world, easily. The kid's dangerous. You just don't really see him going and play too much. I've never seen him go and gamble a big One Pocket match myself. So, but I know he did snap off a tournament somewhere in the Midwest. I think it was last year, and they had a pretty decent field. So he's more than capable. And he's young and he shoots straight, man. He's got a lot of tools.
Yeah.
I don't have really an experience with Sky playing One Pocket. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. He lives out in Kentucky. Brumback and, Brian Gregg in Indianapolis. He's going to learn the game. It's not rocket science. The kid shoots straight, banks amazing, and if he learns a couple moves here and there, I don't see how he can't play very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So this next one's kind of interesting because 3 of us did not rank him, and I think it's when I saw it, I said to myself, I think I forgot about this guy. But Molina did not forget about him. Molina Mike picked him actually at number 8, but he checked in just outside of the top 15, and this is the last honorable mention, is Josh Filler. So, Molina, why'd you rank him so high?
Well, look, it's no question how sick the kid goes and hits the ball. Obviously, he's not going to go and outmove you. We've only really gone and seen him play Tony, right, earlier this year. And I think that it was kind of one of those deals where if Tony had just not been Tony as much and kind of moved more as opposed to like being so exciting, it would have been a different outcome, at least in my opinion. But the kid just bangs so good, man, and he can run 8 from anywhere. His cue ball is sick. I mean, it's gross sometimes, you know. I had forgotten about him too, so it wasn't until after I was looking over my list again, and then I snapped and I said, well, shit, I got Tony at, you know, up there in the top 5, and meanwhile Filler goes and beats him. But I'm sure there's a ton of guys who are great movers who are chomping at the bits to go and play the kid one pocket because they're just going to go and turn the screws on him.
Yeah, that was I slept on that one. That kid should have made like I think they made a big mistake having to play Tony. The kid could have won $300,000-$400,000 before playing Tony.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was the dumbest move in the history of pool. I would have lost 10, just myself. I mean, I would have gone off on the kid. I whatever. I mean, but my opinion. The kid he's just so gross when it comes to shot making. He's not human. I gambled with the kid when he was like 17 in Qatar. And I was like, this guy's stupid. I mean, there's no way anyone shoots this straight. And then, but, you know, I remember talking to Johan a long time ago, before Mosconica, before all this crap happened. And I talked to another guy, Ralph Eckert, out there. And they were telling me how incredibly talented this 18-year-old kid is. And, I mean, the kid's a sponge. He's dedicated his life to the sport. And if he's going to play any cue sport, I mean, the kid's just going to learn it, and he's going to execute it well.
Yeah, I heard that Mike Davis wants to try him some.
Yeah, I want to try him some. I don't know if I can beat his wife. I mean, she shoots the ball pretty good. She knocked me out in a tournament, actually, like one of the isolation ghost tournaments. They said it was the first time she ever beat the 10-ball ghost. I'm like, of course, her first time happens to be to knock me out of the tournament. So
that's whenever you're running good.
Well, yeah, she plays really well too. But yeah, he's incredible. And like you said, Oscar, like he could have won $300,000-$400,000. There's no telling. I mean, if the guy, if the guy was actually capable of beating somebody like Tony, there had to be about 40 or 50 people below him that would have played. And I would have played with some small spot, but after seeing him beat Tony, I want a huge spot now. I mean, you know, right. he definitely he threw a bunch of money away to win that one $5,000 set or whatever it was.
Yeah, but they played at Roy's, and it's 4.5-inch pockets. Do you think that factored into it? I mean, is he really supposed to beat Tony?
It has to, right?
Yeah, it made it easier.
No, but Tony was up though. You know, Tony just wanted to get too flashy at the end, you know, and be that exciting Tony, I think. But from what I had heard, the plan was originally for the kid to go and play Warren. This is after Vegas, and I heard they had just played in Vegas, and they were playing by the game, and something like the kid was up like 5 or 7 games or something, and then by the end of it they're even. So Warren goes back to the East Coast, and then of course he came out positive for COVID, and that's the reason why. And then Tony, to his credit, because Tony plays everybody, you know, Tony stepped up and played him. But you guys are probably right. It was probably the dumb move. But I think that if they were to go and play again, shit, I might go and bet on Tony. Tony's hitting them pretty sporty, you know, and he would know a lot better now what not to go and do. I mean, obviously you don't want to leave that kid shit, but it was just sometimes Tony was just being too much of Tony.
Yeah,
you know.
You got to squeeze a kid. You just got to squeeze him until he can't breathe for 6 hours, and see how straight he shoots after that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, Tony would respect him more this time. That was the problem. Tony didn't respect him enough.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so that's the 6 honorable mention players, and I'm having so much fun already. I can't even wait to get to this top 15. So coming in at number 15, this guy was ranked by 2 of us and unranked by 2 of us. I'm not going to tell you who, but his name is Justin Bergman. Who wants to start?
I'll defer to you guys. No, I'll defer to y'all. Go ahead.
Bergman. he's probably going to be the hardest player to play out of the top 25. He's ultra methodical, ultra slow. He takes so much care of that cue ball that you're never going to see anything you like. I mean, he's going to walk around the table 15 times to make sure wherever he leaves that cue ball, you're not going to like it. And it's hard to play a guy like that. A guy who puts so much energy into the game. Plays fantastic. Moves above average. That's probably his Achilles heel. But anybody who puts a cue ball where they want, they're going to figure it out. I don't like playing him. I'll put it that way. I don't like playing him anything. He brings out the worst in me.
Is it because of his pace?
His pace, yeah. I just don't.
Yep.
I don't enjoy playing him because he.
Is that him, or is that part of his? He
hyper focuses.
His move.
No, it's not a move. He just hyper focuses. There's nothing. Justin doesn't pull moves. I've played Justin quite a few times. I think like 5 times in my life, and he's always been a gentleman, a class act kid. He's a good kid.
That's all. That's what I've heard about him. Nothing but good things. But I'm from the outside looking in. I've always been curious to go and wonder that. Yeah, his pace can be a little brutal sometimes. I saw him go and play a little bit at Derby, one pocket. I mean, it was a tournament, so I mean it was a race of 3. I think he was playing Omar Al Shaheen, and that match went on for, forever, man. His pace is a little brutal, but his cue ball is just so gross. I mean, it's incredible what that kid can go and do with the cue ball. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not surprised seeing him up there. I just, I ain't seen him go and play a whole lot. Mike, what experience do you got with Justin, if any?
I watched him win the tournament in, I think it was Galveston, Texas is where it was. He did win a professional one-pocket tournament, and that was one, he had kind of dropped off the map, barely played pool for a little while, and some people were like, man, I never even heard of this kid. I was like, no, don't worry. He's been a great player since he was 15. I mean, 9-ball, I think he said he ran 7 racks in a row in a tournament at 15. And, Oscar, Molina, you just said, he puts the cue ball where he wants. I just think his execution level is so high. So maybe it's not on Filler's level shot making, but it's on a world-class level. Yeah. He doesn't miss much, and he puts the cue ball really on a dime, probably better than any American player, in my opinion. So he has to be a great player. And even if his shot selection is a little bit off, all the top Filipinos, when they first start playing any game, I've seen them play straight pool, one pocket, 8-ball, whatever, and have no clue, but kind of play amazing anyway, because whatever they decide to do, they just execute at that highest level possible. So that's where Bergman's at. His moving is good, but not phenomenal, but it doesn't matter because he's going to put the cue ball exactly where he decides to do it, and he's just going to beat a ton of people based on his execution.
Yeah, to that point, Mike, I think you pointed out after you had submitted your list that you saw, was it you and I talking about Carlo Beato?
Yeah, because I had seen Carlo, I think he got 3rd in the U.S. Open one pocket or whatever it was several years back, but I really feel like if he was to come over and play more, he has to be in the top 15. Same thing based on execution primarily. But as far as learning the game, I feel like I don't think I ever seen anybody learn the game quicker than Carlo Beato did. I mean, I heard that Efren picked it up, super quick. Obviously, he's a genius, best player ever. But it seemed like Beato was picking things up really, really quickly.
Yeah. All right, so Justin Bergman, number 15. Now, number 14, Danny Smith. What you got, Mike Davis?
Well, I mean, we've all seen Danny Smith in some huge action matches, tons of big ones. One that sticks out is when he beat Chip Compton 7-ahead in 47 minutes or something like that. I mean, who wins a 7-ahead one pocket in under an hour? But he did it.
Gross.
So, when he's on, I mean, he was banking balls off of balls, kick banking balls in. It was just, the most creative shots you could come up with. Only he was executing everything just about perfect. So,
how long ago was that, Mike?
That's been, I don't know, I'm guessing 3-4 years, something like that. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oscar, you ever
I
played
agree
Danny?
with you.
Danny and I have played uh, a lot, a lot, a lot. Um, uh, he, I owe him a lot. I mean, he helped me. You know, he's got me. He gave me some great action. Probably the most memorable one I played him was we played 11 ahead, and I gave him the 8 ball playing 10 ball in Des Moines, Iowa, and he beat me 12-1. He beat me 11 ahead
Wow.
in about an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
It was quite remarkable, the gear he hit. He probably would have beaten anybody at that given time. I think I made like 2 balls the whole set, and it was like the 8 and the 10 on one game, and I didn't get to shoot. The kid was just playing perfect. And then I remember playing him before that trip was over, and he was already tired, and I ended up getting him for some lunch money, but that's neither here nor there. He's very hot or cold. When he's hot, he's a level above almost anybody. I mean, he's Orcola level. But when he's cold, he's kind of cold. And I've always admired Danny. I think Danny is probably the best action in America in terms of getting stake horses and betting his own. I never saw anybody who showed more heart for the cash than him. No matter what you did, no matter what game he was in, he was putting his heart and soul into it. And he has my respect.
What about you, Molina?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes back to what they're saying. I mean, you just don't know which Danny's going to go and show up. You know, the last time I remember seeing Danny play, and talk about it in a headset, you know, I think he beat Scott one game and then got ran over like 9 in a row. I think it was last year.
Yeah, it was right out
and
here.
That thing was over.
Yeah,
that thing was over pretty quick. And I had heard they played some in Louisiana before then. That went back and forth, but yeah, I mean, you just don't know which Danny's going to go and show up. I mean, when he's on, the game of one pocket's better, but you just never know. You know, and I got a lot of respect for you guys because most pool players don't go and critique each other or like go and, you know, and you guys are still being respectful, but like most guys, when I'll ask them something about a player, they're like, I'd rather not.
Yeah. I'll be honest. Yeah.
This has gone on YouTube, baby.
Mike and our boat sailed a while back, so we have nothing to hide.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it anymore. I don't even go to tournaments enough to see these guys. So if they're mad at me, I won't see them for a while. They'll forget about it.
Yeah, they'll get over it.
Who gets mad at you two? You got to be the 2 nicest guys in pool. Come on.
I mean,
all right.
Yeah, I think Tony Robles, he quit, so now it's me and Oscar.
Yeah, that's true. Tony's nice too. Yeah. All right, so that's Danny Smith checking in at number 14. So we're down to number 13, and we have Josh Roberts. Mike Davis, kick us off.
Josh is another one, kind of like Danny, I feel like, where that he's got a real high gear because he banks balls, runs balls really, really well when he's on. And a very good mover, obviously, but, you know, he's a touch inconsistent, too. So that's why I think he didn't get a little bit higher ranking. But, I mean, he's won a couple of big one-pocket tournaments, beat all the top players. But he's just like a hair below the absolute champions. But, yeah, great player.
Yeah,
I think you nailed it, Mike. Yeah, I'm about to say you see Josh in the morning at a tournament, he's just there hitting them over and over and over and over and over again. For sure, Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I'll just reiterate what Mike said. Moves unbelievable, banks great, pocketing, you know, above average, but you know, world class, but not the elite world class. And that bites you in the ass when you're playing guys who just run 8 and out from up table. I mean, it's kind of sick. But Josh is a fantastic player and does everything well.
I tell you one thing I was really impressed with. We had a big, Scott hosted a big tournament out here at Freezers. And I don't know, did you come down for that, Oscar? I don't remember.
Yeah, I did, but it was a bad trip for me. I left right away.
Oh, okay. Josh was here for that, and he got in a booth and he commentated. And, I thought his one pocket commentating was just spot on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he
Yeah.
did a great
Phenomenal
job.
commentator.
Yeah, he did a great job of explaining every shot. He didn't take breaks and, kind of doze off or anything. I mean, everything was on point and so much knowledge. I remember watching, I love Jeremy too, and I get tons of knowledge from him. But so much knowledge Josh was able to, just in one match that I watched online, it was a pleasure to watch and listen to him.
I'll tell you, I want to give a little background to part of why maybe Josh plays quite this well. So where he grew up at and learned to play, that's where Grady Matthews was living at before he passed away. And so Josh played out of Grady Matthews' pool room. Shannon Dalton is from that area. Scott Rabin is from that area. Scott was one of the original commentators for Pool Action TV. That's very knowledgeable. And he helped Josh a lot. So he's got those guys. I mean, that's like three great players to learn from. Brian White's top amateur, like a very good one-pocket player as well. So, Josh is better now, but I mean, not a whole lot. That Brian White can really play too. So when you got four great players to learn from right there in the same little area, it's almost hard not to become a good player if you put the time in.
Yeah, for sure. I've gotten him a few times in Calcutta's at the Texas Open, man. And it'll be 8:30 in the morning, and he'll be over there just hitting balls, And the deeper he goes, whenever he's waiting, if he's not in the booth with Ray, he's on the side table just hitting balls, and that's all that guy does, man.
All right, so number 13 was Josh Roberts. So on to number 12, Shane Van Boning. This one was interesting because one of us didn't rank him, one of us ranked him really high, like number 6. And then a couple of us ranked him around number 10. So who wants to start?
Well, he don't play one pocket, right? I think I probably ranked him higher than you guys did, I'm sure. But you just don't see Shane play one pocket, at least lately, at all, I know he's gone public and said that he hates the goddamn game, and that it's boring. But whenever he's on, man, he shoots straight.
Yeah, he hates the game, but won the Derby. I mean,
twice.
He must not hate it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Shane just pockets everything. He shoots a lot of unique shots that probably are untraditional, but there's no arguing his execution. I've played him several times one pocket, and he's beaten me every time. But I mean, I don't consider myself a great one pocket player, but I just feel like
even.
Yeah, in the tournaments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just it's hard to play a guy who doesn't miss much. That's basically the point I'm trying to get across. It's normal people you can leave down table and leave them long and straight in. Shane will just slow roll the ball and just make it and bank your ball out. And just do crazy shit like that. But yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to challenge him and force him to shoot because he's making it.
No.
Well, and I think it's one of those things we've seen him do so much on a pool table that it's like any game that he were to dedicate himself to, he'd probably end up being very good at, right? So if he spent the time playing one pocket that he did playing 10 ball, we're probably talking about him in the top 3 or 4,
Yeah, it's about how interested he's in on it because, I mean, when I saw him in Texas and I had him in the Calcutta, I think he went like top 4, I think, and I don't remember the last time he played one pocket, but then he went up against Dennis and he looked, awful. I mean, just awful. But whenever he's engaged and he's wanting to go and play and he's just so dangerous and has so many tools available to him that he's real excited to watch. And like you said, he would be higher if he played a lot more.
Yeah, he's probably really only interested in one pocket when it's the Derby, and he thinks he's going to get that $20,000 all-around if he wins one pocket or at least even gets close, you know what I mean, because he can win the 9-ball. So that's when he's interested in one pocket. Maybe that might be the only time of the year that he is.
Yeah.
Does it take a different player? Like how does one pocket go and affect y'all's rotation game? Like if you're just focusing on one pocket for like 6 months.
The break, really, because you work on breaking the balls. That's probably my number one thing. But honestly, like I lived in Vegas and I played a lot of one pocket for a little bit, for like 6 months. It didn't affect me at all. I mean, I transitioned from rotation to one pocket back and forth immediately.
That's
Mike?
impressive, actually. I think lower level players in particular, maybe it's their mechanics aren't quite as good or whatever, but because if you play too much one pocket, most players start to lose their shot making, not just their break, like Oscar was saying, but they really, they're scared to shoot long balls. They just can't, execute as well. But probably, the champions, guys with the best technique probably can get over it better.
I think and I mean, I know we're going to get to him at some point, but just bringing up the point about the break, Dennis, last year, whenever he played Shane, he had been playing a ton of one pocket and hadn't been playing a whole lot of rotation, and goes into that match with Shane, and his break completely failed him. I think that was the whole reason why he lost to Shane in the fashion in which that match went. That break is huge, and that's why I was curious as to what you guys think, because y'all have been there before.
Yeah, but whenever I got ready for a one pocket match, I never played one pocket. I shoot straight shots. I pocket balls. I work on banking.
Yeah.
I work on my 10-ball break. I'd run out 10-ball, then run a couple balls in one pocket. So it was like a dynamic practice. It wasn't just like button balls or practicing button balls. I practice running.
So some of these guys who are known for more of being one pocket players only, a lot of them you don't see, on an elite level when it comes to rotation, like the Chip Comptons of the world, or Danny Smith, or Justin Halls. I mean, of course you got your Alex and Dennis who are alien, but it's hard for me to go. I mean, and Tony, because I think Tony's a really good rotation player.
Yeah.
But it's tough, and Josh as well for that matter. But it's tough to go and have guys that are dual threat. At least from what I've seen. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people go to one pocket because they can't. They're not successful in rotation. Exhibit A.
What do you like the break, or just running ball, or
the thing is,
whatever?
I'll never win a 10-ball tournament with Dennis and Shane and a lot of other top players. I just don't win it. I never made money playing 10-ball tournaments. But I can play a guy one pocket who breaks way better than me, and I can grind him down and I can outsmart him. That's why the tendency goes to one pocket, because we're not successful in rotation. I mean, 99% of tournaments are rotation tournaments. But there's too many variables, and the variance of winning is too big in rotation tournaments.
It's a lot more controlled than one pocket, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
right?
hard to shit out in a one pocket tournament. I mean, if you win a one pocket tournament with like all the top players, you did something pretty special. Playing a 9-ball bar table tournament, my mom might cash.
Yeah, you're not pulling upsets too easily in one pocket. It's just, even a race to 3, you think, it's only a couple games, like I might be able to pull an upset on whoever. But really, like, if you're not a damn good player, you're not pulling upsets on anybody in one pocket. Yeah. It's just not the way it goes.
It's a lot
easier to handicap. The cream tends to go and rise to the top.
Yeah,
absolutely. In one pocket, for sure.
Absolutely.
How hard is it to go and stay engaged, like when you're playing, 12 hours, 18 hours?
I think that depends what the bet is.
What was your question, Mike?
I said, how hard is it to go and stay engaged? I like that answer, Mike.
Yeah. You play cheap, I mean, you're going to get bored quick, but if the money's there, you're gonna keep focused and try hard.
Okay, so Shane Van Boening at number 12. So now we're on to number 11, and I think there's a little hometown bias here. I rank this guy pretty high, and but I'm surprised he fell all the way to number 11. It's Scott Frost. So I'll start off. I think Scott obviously hasn't been playing over the last 4 or so years since the Open Freezers, and I think that's one of the reasons that he is down at number 11. But I was pretty encouraged by watching him play Tony Chohan. I thought, he seemed like he was pretty much back to being the old Scott. The match, first of all, he jumped out and played incredible on day 1. He was up 10-4, I believe. And day 2 kind of fell apart a little bit. Tony played great. And at the end of day 2, correct me if I'm wrong, Molina, but I think it was 20-14 at the end, or 20-17.
Tony came back to take the lead at 12 12-11, I think, after being down 10-3, 10-4.
Yeah, 2014.
Yeah,
I
no,
think after
Scott played good though.
Yeah, and then, well,
Yeah.
day 3 was where I was really impressed, right? Because he had every reason to pack it up after day 2. I haven't been playing. Here's an excuse, whatever. But no, he fought back, and I want to say it was 27-27 at one point. And I was like, wow, this is anybody's match. And then Tony ended up getting those last 3 games. So, I think he showed a lot in that match, which is why I ranked him higher than you guys did. Because I thought, hey, with a little bit of play, he can be kind of back up there. But share your thoughts,
Mike.
Well, like you said, a little bit of play, he could be back up there, but I just don't think he's got the motivation to do it anymore. Like he's already proven himself. He was basically the best player in the country, possibly in the world for a little while. And, after you've had that, and now he's just moved on. He's opened a business. He's just got other priorities. So it's not that he couldn't get it back, but I don't expect him to. So I couldn't rank him too high.
Molina.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely, if you like Scott and you want to see him back in the sport, that match with Tony was definitely refreshing and gave you motivation, I guess. But I don't know, man. That first day it was all Scott, and then he took those haymakers starting day 2, and maybe Tony was done messing around. But he had Tony frustrated at times, and I consider Tony. I know we're going to get to him, but I consider Tony up there in one pocket. So to go and obviously with that much with that much knowledge of the game and that much experience, it's a matter of getting him engaged, getting him on the table. You can't just stick around Arizona, beating up on locals and think that you're still going to be up there at that elite level. You got to go and travel. You got to go and play the big players.
Hey, he's getting in the box with me. Yeah, he's been getting in the box with me, man. Come on.
I mean, if somebody knows what Scott's going through, it's me, because I bought a business just like he did, and I'm on the same boat. It's hard to build a motivation. So, as a pool player, we have goals. You want to become the best pool player in the world, the best you can be, and you work towards it to attaining a goal. When you become a business owner, your goals change. So for my goal is to have the best pool hall in the world. That's my goal right now. I have dreams and visions of having the best players in the world come in, action all the time. That's my vision. Scott's pretty similar. He's got the nightclub scene feel to freezers. He wants to have the bottle service and all that. He's got his vision. It's hard to get the motivation to get up and play. Plain and simple. It's, as a professional pool player, the working man was always a sucker. We always thought, oh, fuck, I'm never going to work for a living because they're suckers. I go out there and I make $2,000, I make $5,000 in a night. There's something to be said about the working man. It's a very honorable thing. It's hard to, easy money comes and goes with pool, but in business, it's steady, solid income, especially in Scott's place. Scott's got a sweet joint. I mean, I have an idea of how much he makes a year, and it's a hell of a lot more than he'll ever make playing pool consistently. Me in business, a hell of a lot more than I'll ever make playing pool. And it's lucrative. That's why we play pools, to make money and survive. And when you can find another outlet, there's no motivation there. So that's why I feel that Scott's ranking might have slipped, because psychologically his energy's not there. But again, my personal favorite player to watch right now in the world, there's nobody more fun or more educational, in my opinion, than Scott and Tony, for me.
Yeah,
y'all are competitors, though, man. Granted,
you're not going to turn it off.
Yeah, you can't, right? Because that's in you, right?
But the thing is, we use our competitive nature to something else. Some people play poker. Nick Schulman didn't play pool, so he started playing poker. I'm competitive in my business. I want to put all the other guys out of business. Well, not really, but I want to succeed in my business.
Right.
So it's one of those weird things that you channel that competitive spirit into something else.
Yeah. Well, something to be said about the working man, because I think it was back in like 2004, there was this working man who went up to Mike Davis and said, "Hey, do you think I play good enough pool to become a professional pool player?" And Mike Davis told this guy, "Do you like getting a paycheck every 2 weeks?" And the guy said yes. And Mike said, "Do you like having health insurance?" And the guy said yes. And he said, "Stick with working. You got some talent, but stick with working." And that guy was me. So thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
I do.
You saved his life, Mike.
I do
I'm glad
appreciate
it
You
it.
worked
saved
out.
his life. No, really. It's a hard life. You know,
Yeah.
Mike, Davis, and I have experienced it. We've played before. I mean, it's a brutal lifestyle. You know, someone comes home eating like a prince, the other one eats fucking Subway. It's kind of brutal.
Yeah, not to mention the ego hit that we take when we lose. I mean, that's
Yeah,
never
the
either.
losses sting a lot more than the wins satisfy you. And the losses just loom and
Yeah.
eat you alive.
All right. So Scott Frost checking in at number 11. So number 10, we have Billy Thorpe. I'm a big Billy Thorpe fan. I played him down at the Texas Open, and just a cool guy, a lot of fun. And so he checks in at number 10. Our ranking, we all had him about around there, and so I'm curious to hear you guys kind of toss this one around. What do you say, Molina?
Yeah, I mean, in a year where there really hadn't been anything, Billy won Derby, so he's a Mosconi Cup player. The kid's real exciting to go and watch. He's made for TV. The way he banks the balls, he moves really well. Sometimes he kind of just thinks he can go and make everything, and sometimes his decision making can be a little bit off sometimes, but his knowledge of the game is, solid. I'm a big Billy Thorpe fan. Yeah, he's a fantastic player, great ambassador for the game. He's got a lot of heart. Likes to bet his own. Somebody we didn't go and mention, and I don't think he's on our list, but is Efren. And he played Efren not too long ago on that thing with that Ray and them did. I don't know how the hell we forgot about Efren, but
Oh my God, what is wrong with us?
Well, he's retired.
yeah, right. We're terrible.
He's
We should just
retired.
cancel.
Oh God,
Yeah,
cancel.
but I think
we
Efren
might need
actually
to do over on
Efren
that.
actually won that one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Efren beat him.
Yeah.
He did beat him. Yeah, he did. I think it was a year or two ago.
Oh my God.
But I
what
mean,
a misstep.
there's no doubt that his game has gone down with this site. But yeah, man, Billy, I don't know, man. He's great. I'll watch whatever Billy's doing, man, when it comes to pool, because he's just a phenomenal player, and just super exciting to go and watch.
Ditto. I mean, on heart, Billy's a very avid three-cushion player.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that, and I think three-cushion helps in one pocket. At least it helped me in one pocket. I play a little three-cushion sometimes, and it's he just probably the only thing that he might do incorrectly is he goes for some crazy bang sometimes.
Yeah.
And he's so confident in his banks that he sometimes shoots a low percentage, even though he knows he's supposed to make it. Sometimes it bites him in the ass. But I mean, what a fantastic player! A lot of fun. I enjoy watching Billy play. It's hard not to be a Billy fan.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree.
Yeah, I actually really like that style of going for those banks generally if you're a great banker. I mean, that's one of the differences between the old school players. They used to, kind of coach like, oh, you don't go for anything unless it's like 90% or better. But in the long run, if you're playing Tony Chohan, Josh Roberts, anybody, if they're going to bank at balls and beat you, you got to bank at balls and beat them too. I mean, you can't just sit around and duck and duck and duck and think you're going to outmove these top players to death. Sometimes that bank is the best shot you're ever going to get. And Billy's not scared to shoot at it. So I really like that about his game.
Yeah. He ain't afraid to put the heat on your ass, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Coming in at number 9, we have Evan Lunda. He's kind
Oscar,
of
what do you think about Evan's game?
Evan, I like Evan. I really do. He's a Detroit player. He knows how to squeeze you, but he's very, very aggressive in his play. Um, he's like a hybrid player. You don't really know. He kind of looks like he's falling asleep. He's disinterested, but then he comes out and grinds you down into the floor. So again, he's one of those guys that it all depends how interested he is in you. In the game. I mean, if the bet's high enough. I like Evan's game. I really do, but he doesn't shoot as straight as some of the other top players. So that he gets pushed to the side, because he doesn't shoot as straight. But damn, that boy moves good. He moves like, he plays with the brothers in Detroit. I was out there in Detroit, the old guys that play banks and only one pocket. They don't even know how to rack 9-ball. He knows the old school moves and he grinds the way they do. Very talented banker. He's got that big, wide open stroke. So when he's flowing, it's a thing of beauty to watch him play.
What say you, Mike?
I really like you said, his moving I think is fantastic, but there's certain banks that I think Evan might be the best in the world at. I don't know. Like, he impressed me with some, like, not the warp speed bank pool style. Billy Thorpe can just hammer banks in 100 miles an hour or whatever. But there's certain little ones where you have to twist it a specific way or put just the right English and hold it where it's so close to a double kiss. I thought it was impossible, and he made it on me. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of little banks that I think he's fantastic at, just as good as anybody in the world.
Yeah, well, I have to say that out of the entire list of people that we have, Evan Lunda is the only one that I beat out of money. So in 2010, he came through Jacksonville, and it was a Tuesday night tournament or something. And after the tournament, he wants to play some, and I didn't know who he was, and so we played. I think we played like a race to 3 for 100 or something, and I beat him. And I'm sure he didn't play his game or whatever, but yeah, that's the only person on this entire list that I won money from. So, and I'm not playing him again. All right, so Evan Lunda checking in at number 9. Number 8 is actually a tie for number 7, and so number 7, the first number 7 is Corey Dole. So I know you guys have, Mike and Oscar, you guys have probably played quite a bit against Corey. So what are your thoughts on that one?
I've played Corey tons and tons, and everybody knows his creativity is like off the charts. I mean, he was the one that invented the soft break that basically ruined 9-ball for us. So, that was. And thanks for Corey for explaining that to him. He actually made a point to tell him, "You ruined 9-ball." So, but he pretty much did. Anyway, he just sees the game differently. I don't know, where he gets it from, but he sees things different than anybody else does. So he's going to come up with shots that are unique that no one could commentate and guess what he was going to do. Once in a while, they don't work out though. So that, he sees some shots that are just off the wall, and they're not all winners. But yeah, when he's playing well, he's playing just as good as anybody. I mean, he's been a champion since the 90s and like early 90s probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to add to that. I mean, I think Corey's kind of like a savant in some ways, but I think what's the word? I think he's not street smart, but he's got he's got something in his head that's just almost like an Asperger's type of thing, where he's brilliant. It's almost to an advantage. It's a huge advantage, I think. I think his mind works very fast. And he sees a lot of things that most people don't. Now, sometimes there's a lot of moving parts, and sometimes it doesn't work out. But for him to have that imagination and that creativity, he's got an advantage over every pool player he plays in that aspect. And Mike said it. He's always an innovator. I saw a video of him playing Shannon Dalton on YouTube not too long ago, of him breaking hard. And it's freaking crazy, and it worked. But anyways, Corey, what a great talent.
That was a great video, Oscar. I want to say that Grady Matthews was commentating, and they're just like
Yeah,
dumbfounded, like, what is he doing?
yeah,
And it was working out for him. It was nuts. Yeah.
yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Anything to add,
I
Molina?
think Corey should be higher up. Yeah, I think Corey should be higher up, in my opinion. I think it's crazy to go and have him as number 7. I think, for my money, last year anyway. I mean, he looked terrible during Moscone, and maybe if anything, that's something we can chalk up to maybe why he's down, even though that's 9-ball. But just in general, he didn't look good at all out there. But like before this year, I think Corey's like top 4. I mean, I'd put him right after that. Dennis and Alex for my money. I think he's got that kind of execution, that kind of creativity. I don't consider Corey like a great banker, but he moves so well, man, and he just sees shit that don't nobody else see. Yeah, man, I'm a big Corey fan when it comes to one pocket. I'm kind of surprised to go and see him as far down on this list as we have, but yeah, I wouldn't sleep on him, man. I'm curious to see who's coming up next on the list, because I want to see who's better than Corey is, because for my money, I think he should be higher.
Yeah, and part of why, one of the reasons that I wanted to do this now, even though 2020 has been nuts with COVID, there is a small body of work in the last few months, right? We had the tournament in Illinois, we had the tournament in Texas, the Texas Open, and there's been some gambling matches. So I thought that now was a good enough time.
He looked bad in Texas too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked bad at the Open too.
Yeah. But I thought,
but it's 2020, so I mean,
yeah. Now we at least have a little something to work with, with the last part of 2020, that we could go out and we could do this, and then maybe do it again in a couple months, and hopefully have some more data to kind of, see who's up and down and where people are moving. But Corey Deuel tied for number 7. So, in answer to your question, Molina, this person's not ahead of him. He's actually tied with him at number 7, Justin Hall.
Let's hear it.
Justin Hall.
Well, I think that's interesting. What Justin's going to show up. That's what I want to know. Justin at Derby last year looked pretty great. His head was on his shoulders, it seemed like, whenever he was playing the tournament. And Justin banks so good, man, But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. For my money, what Justin's going to go and show up. You know what I mean?
You should text Romero. You can make that game happen. Romero.
Hey, you know what? It was funny because so after Corey does his bullshit like Moscone post, right, that everyone's got to go and do congratulatory to Europe and all that bullshit, and then Justin goes and says, hey, let's play a set, and Corey, to his credit, said was like, hey, buddy, you got to go and get in line. Like everybody wanted to go and play Corey after that. But no, I mean, I think that's a really good matchup actually, and for my money, I'd go and take Corey. I mean, if he's in gear, I'm taking Corey, and it's no disrespect to Justin at all, Yeah.
Yeah, Justin. I played junior nationals with Justin, so sweat this, guys. Check out my junior nationals class: Bo Runnigan, Joey Gray, Shane McMahon, Bergman, Hall.
Wow.
Silver Ochoa when he was playing before he got like 16 kids.
You're one to talk, Oscar.
Mike Banks. I know, right?
You're starting to pop them out pretty quick.
I mean, we had an amazing class of players, and Justin was one of the prodigies. I remember like it was yesterday. I was like 17 years old. I was playing pool for like 3 months. And Justin Hall was playing Tyler Strong. Tyler Strong was an amazing talent. May he rest in peace. But they were playing like 1,000 a game at like 15 years old.
That's true.
And it was just insane for me. Like I was playing $20 sets, and I thought I was a baller, and I didn't know any better. But they were playing 1,000 a game, and it stuck. It's something that stuck in my mind. It was very impressionable at 17. Of course, who isn't? But I saw Justin play, and he was just a raw talent, just made everything, just real skinny kid and just a great athlete. I don't know if you guys knew that he was a track star when he was younger, before he got the beer belly.
You wouldn't know it now.
You wouldn't know it, yeah. But he was a phenomenal athlete. I don't know. I'm a big Justin Hall fan. I like the way he plays the game. When he played Moscone that one year, I thought he was a terrible pick. Turned out to be probably the best pick at that time. I think he played amazing for Moscone Cup, and he never played again, which is weird. But
yeah, he was the best American on the team that year. It certainly,
by far.
And he earned his way by getting fifth in the U.S. Open right before that, and he didn't even have the break figured out at all. He just got up and broke from the box and hammered him. He didn't even try to do a cut break like everybody else was doing. He just hit the balls hard, and it's just whatever. But after that, he played phenomenal, after the break. So, I mean, he's capable of playing 9-ball at that top level. It seems like he's one of the best bankers in the world. I was one of the ones that probably ranked Justin higher than any of you guys. And maybe it's like you said, hometown bias with Scott. But I've seen Justin play great. And I think he's a better mover than all the other guys. Scott Frost knows more, maybe Tony, maybe. But Tony doesn't always move better because he doesn't choose to. Justin shoots the right shot. Justin will squeeze when you're supposed to squeeze. Yeah. He'll bank when you're supposed to bank. He shoots the right shots, every time. So that's why I rated him very high.
You know what, Mike? You hit it right on the head. A lot of one-pocket players are one-dimensional. They go... they just go, or they play tight. They don't have that variance in their game. Justin's one of those few players out there that can squeeze or play aggressive.
Yeah.
And do both very well.
And he banks so good, he can put pressure on you from so many different places.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. All right. Justin Hall, number 7. So that takes us to number 6, and this guy's actually in action right now. It's Chip Compton.
I'll let y'all go first.
I don't know. I've played Chip once in my life, and that was when he had a dry spell. He had a lot of personal stuff that happened in his life, so his game wasn't where it was. I think Chip's life is going the right direction right now, and he's got things going for him, and he's a great kid. I'm a big Chip Compton fan. He's bets his own, plays hard. He's a Jeremy Jones student. He's from that era. He's in that little circle of Jeremy Jones, Joey Gray, and the whole Oklahoma City crew. There's a lot of good players out there. James Walden, great player, probably an inspiration to him. Dave Matlock, another guy you probably learned a lot from. Chip and Joey, they go like peanut butter and jelly. And he was in the junior national crew with me too. What a great talent. I mean, he just does everything well.
Yeah. What say you, Mike?
Yeah, maybe not the best at any one thing. He's a great banker, not the best banker. He's a great shot maker, not the absolute best. He's a great mover. But because he's so good at everything, it gives him just a very, very strong all-around game because he doesn't really have a particular weakness. He's just very good all around.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head, Mike, as far as just being good in a lot of different categories, and that combined makes him what he is. And I haven't always been a Chip Compton fan. I bet against him a lot whenever he's playing someone. But, yeah, man, he's the one thing I like about Chip's game is that he's always in it. I don't give a shit if it's, 7, -5. He's still in that game, and he's still grinding. He's still trying. If there's someone from behind that I want going for me, I mean, maybe besides a Billy, because Billy's got a lot of heart, but it's Chip, man. Yeah, but Dennis is in the whole nother.
He doesn't count.
Yeah. But no, man, it's Chip though, just because he can just grind, and like when he's gambling, he don't like playing 3-foul, and I like that, man. He'll stretch out a game as long as it takes to go and win it,
I hate that part, but you're right. He doesn't care if it takes 3-4 hours. He'll go to -8 on you. What I mean? Like if they're not playing 3-foul, and he's gonna keep trying and keep trying. So you're right about that for sure.
But it's one of those and also like to what you were saying is that he like about Justin, he's got he can go and adapt real well. He can play a few different styles of one pocket for me. I don't think he pockets the ball extremely well. If I'm gonna go and knock his game any at all, but he's kind of got like an unorthodox pre-shot routine. Maybe not the best mechanics, but damn, that grind in him, man. That grind for the cash is strong with Chip for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Chip Compton checking in at number 6, and that brings us to number 5, which is kind of interesting. It's Roberto Gomez. They're actually playing right now while we're recording this, and Chip actually beat Roberto not too long ago. But then, as I mentioned before, there's been a body of work.
Dominated him.
Yeah.
Dominated him. Not just beat him.
Yeah, but there's been a body of work, and in that body of work was the Texas Open. And in the Texas Open, Roberto Gomez beat Alex, Tony Chohan, and Dennis Ercolo to win that tournament. I mean, you beat those 3 back to back to back. Talk to me, Mike.
Tony dogged it. Don't go. Tony dogged his fucking brains out. Okay? And I had Roberto, and I'm a Tony fan, but Tony had a straight in 9 ball to go and send Roberto's ass home, and he dogged it. But he stuck with it to his credit. I don't know how you guys have him ranked this high. I like Roberto. He's a funny guy. He's kind of like always got a smile on his face, always joking around. Obviously, his game has improved a lot over the last 18, 24 months, by mile. I think he played Josh Roberts a couple of years ago and was ahead and then lost. I think today he probably beats Josh. You bring up the Texas Open, but man, I don't know. It's kind of odd because we talked about this earlier. Like the cream rises to the top when it comes to one pocket, right? And it was a race to 5, so you would think like the better player supposed to go and win. But it was kind of goofy because when he played Alex, Alex had 3 really unorthodox scratches that were pretty brutal, to go and beat Alex. Tony dogged the 9. I think it was just like the perfect storm of shit happening for Roberto go and win, and I won some money on Roberto, so I'm glad all that shit happened.
I was about to say,
Calcutta.
Meanwhile, you got the guy into Calcutta and walked out of there with thousands. So you knew a little more than you're.
That aside, though, yeah, I don't know, man. For my money, I don't know if I can put him ahead of Chip. I don't know that I can go and put him ahead of Justin.
But you just bet on him over Chip.
What? Me and you suckered me into it. What are you talking about? I was just fucking with you. No, it's tougher. He ran over Roberto whenever they played last, and that was in August, so it wasn't like it was a year ago.
Yeah, but Roberto's Filipino. In my mind, it's that simple. The Filipinos, they just start off with such a high skill set, really.
Yeah.
Their skill set is on a different level than most of the top Americans, and once they figure things out, they're going to be better players. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Like, look at Urkula. When he first started playing, I'm telling you, like, straight pull, one pocket, anything, clueless, but was already, like, in the top 10 or 20 in the world instantly. Like, you just tell him the rules. And then within 2 years, he's in, like, the top 2 or 3. Seriously, you just tell him the rules.
How strong is that?
Yeah, that's it. The guy had no clue what a key ball was in straight pull, and he's going to go and run like 90 his first attempt ever in his life. You know what I mean? Like that's just how he played, going 3 rails on the to get position on the break shot, playing straight pull, and clueless about one pocket, instantly in the top 10 in the world. It's just the skill set's on a different level, and Roberto's not on Herculo's level, but he's just on a higher level than pretty much all the top Americans, execution-wise, and that's why I feel like it was a no-brainer that he was going to get to a high level, top 5, at least top 7, but I think
I agree with you. He's got that gear for sure. He's got that upside. I'm not going to argue that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably overranked him a little bit now that I really think about it, but, it's hard to... this guy moved to Houston. It's a lot of one pocket there.
Yeah.
And he learned, it's kind of like at this point where he's learning faster than he can assimilate it, if that makes sense. He's got information overload. So if you notice how slow he plays, I think it's analysis paralysis. Like, he works too hard to see the shot, if that makes sense. the shot's not coming naturally to him. So if you notice, like Scott Frost and all the top Dennis takes forever though. He's an exception. But you see Scott and Tony, even Jeremy Jones, who's methodical. They see the shot quick.
Yeah.
Because
Tony,
they're used to the
Tony's.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tony's like
they're on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And,
Tony and Scott see the shot in like 1 second. It's amazing.
yeah, and Roberto's exhausting his energy, thinking and thinking and thinking. So I think he's wearing himself out. That was the only thing I was a little weary about betting, but I figured race to 8 per day. How long could it last? But obviously here we are. They've been playing forever. But I think with a little bit more time, he's going to earn his top 5 ranking.
I agree with that right there. I think with time he's going to go and get there. I just don't know if I were to go and put Roberto. I don't think he banks the ball exceptionally well. I don't consider him like an elite mover. And I agree with what you said, Oscar. Like him being in Houston now, and not only that, but having like Dennis and Alex in your ear a lot too, because the Filipinos, a lot of credit to them because Americans don't always do that. Is that they'll help each other out,
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, I don't know, man. Roberto's a great guy. He's exciting to go and watch, and he's kind of got this goofy ass stroke to him too. But like whenever he gets it, like when he executes, he's fun to go and watch, because he can do some creative stuff.
I really like the guy. I don't even know him, but I passed him at the Texas Open walking through the parking lot, and the guy's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And I was like, "Wow, what a cool guy," So
Yeah.
I'm pulling for him. So maybe I overranked him a little bit because he said hi to me. I don't know. So
Let me charge my phone, guys. 1 second.
You're such a groupie, Joey.
you're just mad I'm not your groupie anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So at number 5 we had Roberto Gomez. At number 4, Tony Chohan. What do you guys think about that? Is that the right spot?
I think so, for sure. I think that's where Tony belongs in the grand scheme of things in professional one pocket, And I got to give Tony a lot of credit because he's got a lot of balls to go and play the Filipinos the way he does. He's one of the only ones that'll go and step up and go and play Dennis, that'll go and play Alex, that'll go and play Bustamante, that'll go and play Roberto. He'll go and play the Filipinos. That's why I like Tony. He's super creative, real aggressive style to him, maybe to a fault, like whenever he played filler. But man, he's just exciting to go and watch. But it's when Tony's engaged, like when Tony is engaged and when the bet's right and all that shit, because Tony can go and check out, But man, whenever he's on, he's exciting to watch, man. I'm a big Tony fan.
Yeah, the bet's got to be right for him. That's for sure. Like, because he doesn't stay engaged. Like it's like the worst case of ADD I've ever seen in my life. The guy could be playing for 5,000-10,000 and just lose track.
It's
of
true.
He's just not interested. I'm like, how can you not be interested for $10,000? But
it's gross, right?
I mean, it is pretty sick, but it happens to that guy. I'll tell you a credit to him though. The offensive style. He actually has got people that have no interest in one pocket whatsoever and brought them into the game because they see Tony's creativity and how, he's just playing
his highlight reel
balls and whatever. Yeah, highlight reel, exactly. So all kinds of people have come into one pocket now and become fans because of Tony and how well he plays and how well he plays that particular style. So I know I'm a big fan. I'm the same way. I can't stand watching one pocket if it's that, Nick Varner wedge style stuff. But when it's Tony playing, something's going to happen exciting. So
one way or the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oscar, what about you, Oscar? You're out there in California. You know Tony real well.
Yeah, Tony actually, he's from Sacramento, believe it or not. A lot of people don't know this. Tony's cousin, Mark Hang, lives in Sacramento. So, I see Tony quite often. Like he just played the roofer not too long ago. A local gambler here, and they were playing pretty high, pretty solid bets, 2,000 a game type stuff. But anyways, Tony's, I get to see Tony quite a bit, and it's always a pleasure. Complete gentleman, no bullshit, a real nice guy, and again,
he just wants to gamble.
He loves to gamble. That's his thing. He loves to gamble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you guys mentioned it before. Sometimes he might check out because let's be realistic. Tony he needs the rush. If it's not, the rush isn't there, if the stakes aren't high enough, the risk of falling is not good enough. You know what I mean? He needs to feel that it needs to make him tick. That's why you see him play tournaments and he doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
The way he approaches it and the way he gambles, like if you know Tony on a personal level, for him to feel he's a competitor. He needs to be competing, doing something. He needs to feel that rush. That's why he's always in action. That's why he'll bet on the sports games, and he loves the rush, and he's addicted to the rush. And we all are in some way. It's just that Tony's has a bigger bankroll than most.
Well, I got to tell you that I didn't know Tony at all until about 2 weeks ago, and I interviewed him for the podcast, and that's coming out in a couple weeks. And just interacting with him, kind of going back and forth. He took the interview on 2 days' notice. Jason Romero hooked it up for me. It was right after, you remember, Molina, when he played Justin Hall in that pretty quick.
Robbed him.
Yeah. And
did you watch Oscar?
No, I heard about it.
Yeah, robbed him. Romero had shared it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's right, the private thing.
I said to him, I said to Jason, hey, hook me up with an interview with Tony. And he said, I'll see what I can do. That night, he messages me, and he says, Tony's in. Just send him a message. So I sent him a message. 2 days later, we're on the Skype or the Zoom, and we're doing an interview. And, I was just so impressed with the way he handled himself. He was, just a cool guy. And so, when these guys do that, I like to support what they're into. So look what arrived today.
Getting tight.
I reached out to him.
I got a bunch of Tony shit around here somewhere, I'm sure.
I reached out to him, and I have a shirt over here too. And just the messaging back and forth. I asked for like 5 different things, and he was out of stock on all 5. And he was like, "Oh, sorry, man. Laugh out loud. Sorry." And just totally chill guy, And so it was so much fun, getting this today and knowing that his episode's coming out and supporting him. So, but yeah, we had him at number 4. You can make a case, I think, for number 3. 2 of us, or one of us had him at number 3, and the rest of us had him at number 4. And so the guy at number 3 of us had that guy, and one of us had Tony at number 3. And that guy at number 3 is Francisco Bustamante.
Yeah, I put Francisco at number 3.
How sick is it at that age to be executing and competing the way that guy does? Come on now.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, he's my favorite player of all time. That guy's got my number more than anyone in the world. I could play dead perfect, and he'll play super perfect. He's honestly my pool hero in terms of rotation pool and all around pool, and I think that's why I ranked him number 3. I probably would have put him number 2, but it's hard to go over the other 2 guys. I mean, the guy does banks unbelievable, runs up the balls incredible, plays straight pull world class. So he's very good at the caroms and the nip tuck aspects of it. So where you think he's only going to run 4 balls, he runs 7 or 6. He gets those extra balls that you don't anticipate. Breaks the balls well. Probably one of the best one pocket breakers in the world, in my opinion.
He can lay it down.
He lays that cue ball frozen on that long row every single time. If it's not frozen, it's this time. And he breaks. I don't see anyone breaking better than him. I think he's number one pocket break in the world, in my opinion.
I think that's why Roberto breaks the way he does. Roberto breaks one pocket real well.
Really
I
good.
think he got that shit from Bustamante.
Like Bustamante does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He clips the head ball real thin, and it just spins out. I mean, I'm a groupie when it comes to Bustamante. I'm a big fan.
I think we all are.
I'm a big fan too. Yeah, I mean the guy plays great, and like Oscar said, that getting those couple extra balls. I mean, everybody's going to get it. Good players going to get the 4 or 5 when they're open, but trying to get underneath balls when they're up table, and you have this tight little window, and you got to get there. He's going to get there as good as just about anybody in the world, and he's going to get those run 6, 7, 8 instead of running 3, 4, 5, whatever. I mean, he's playing when these guys travel around and give decent amateurs like 13-4, 13-5, stuff like that, Bustamante's getting like 12 and 13 ball outs on these people. And they're not bad players, but how do you win when the guy runs 13? I mean, it doesn't even make sense. But
I think part of what makes him so spectacular is that he's still doing it at this point of his career, right? Because he ain't supposed to be playing like this anymore. And he just, I think one pocket is so it's very precise, right? So like to have that cue ball the way that he does, to be able to bank the balls the way that he does, kick the way he does, moves the way. I'm a big Bustamante fan, and the way he still does it at this point of his career, I don't got anything negative to go and say about that guy's game at all. Every facet of him playing one pocket, it's world class. And I mean, when you get to this point of the list, we're obviously just splitting hairs here, But yeah, Boosty just does so many things. Well, he can get out of so many different places, and he can put you in some really, really tough spots.
Yeah. I think it's a testament to his mental strength when you're talking about his age. Like, most people decline with age, and there's just a lot of like mental battles you have to win. And as your skills start to deteriorate, those mental battles start to win against you, basically. And Bustamante's far past his prime, in all honesty, but he's still just that mentally tough that he's getting up there and playing with everybody in the world. And if he's not beating them, he is right there with all the top players.
I mean, if that doesn't show you the significance of say, a 10-ball break, if that doesn't tell you how powerful the break is, and how is it that Bustamante, someone who's well in his late 50s, still plays world class and is still in the top 3 in the world in a discipline? It goes to show you where if you eliminate the break shot, after the break, this guy is almost unstoppable. I think if he were to play 10-ball with Filler and Orculo and all the top players in rotation, push out after the break, Bustamante's right there, right with him.
I agree with you, and I mean it's you hit it right on the head, Oscar. Whenever you go and say that, because and the one thing I like, he can do a shootout if he needs to. He can go and do the wedge, go down table if he needs to. He can win so many different ways. And like you said, after the break, you would think like his pocketing would go down, but it really hadn't. Not at least not a whole lot. Because he can still go and like Mike said, and he's running 12, 13 balls at a time. It's unbelievable. My hat's off to him.
When it comes down to.
No doubt about it.
All right, so that's number 3, Francisco Bustamante. Checking in at number 2, who do you guys think? It's Dennis Circulo. So what do you guys think about Dennis?
Well, this is gonna be interesting because everyone knows what an alien Dennis is. So like obviously, it's like 1A and 1B, right? And I know we're not saying number 1 yet, but we know. What's that difference? What's the difference?
The moving is the difference.
The moving, yes.
Yeah.
That Mike hit it. The moving is a difference. And that's the only difference. Because the execution, Dennis is the best in the world in execution.
His pocketing is phenomenal. It's like filler-esque, the way he goes and pockets balls.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The thing
with a better cue ball.
With a better cue ball. It's scary. Mike, I've gambled with Dennis quite a bit, and I had a stake horse. He told me, flip the coin, play him another stake, because it went hill with the spot he gave me, and I straight told Nicky Shulman, I'm like, I'll play anybody on earth except that guy right now. He's like, I'm never going to win, Nick. He's like, don't worry about it, just play him. I'm like, I'm not. I quit a guy getting staked. I just didn't want to do it. I was like, I can't win. There's no chance for me to beat this guy. I don't want to work that hard.
Yeah.
And I've never said that before about anybody. But Dennis is just on a whole different planet when it comes to execution, when it matters most. You'll see him miss a ball here and there, but you'll never see him miss a ball when it really, really counts. For the cash, if my life is depending on it,
he's fucking disgusting.
They say, Oscar, you're on death row if Dennis makes this jacked up shot. Who do you want to shoot this jacked up shot? I'm like, Dennis, I'm going to die a happy man knowing I picked the right guy for the job.
Yeah. You're not going to die. You're going to live forever.
I hope not.
If Dennis is shooting, you're immortal now.
Yeah. I mean, there's really, who else would you want shooting with your life on the line?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
when
this is
that
this is why I asked,
$20,000
like,
all-around bonus, right? You remember that he had to come with some crazy shot at the end to secure the all-around bonus? I think he was playing one of the European guys, whatever, and he shoots this, like from the end rail spot shot and hits it like dead perfect to win the $20,000 bonus. I mean, stuff like that. I might whiff the whole ball like you're talking about that. That other guy did for 20,000 from the end rail. I'm probably gonna miss you, and it's just, but yeah, he just gemmed it. He just hit it dead perfect. So.
is the moving that much better? Because for my money, and like you guys are saying, that pocketing is so it's consistent. Dennis's pocketing is consistent, top tier. So is that moving so much? Is he that much more below?
I don't think so.
I mean, it's significant. It's got to be significant for him to be the better player when everybody agrees Dennis executes a little bit better. Then the moving has to be better,
Well, because I've always said 1A and 1B, right? But you guys are saying it's definitive. Dennis is number 2.
I think so, but I mean, it's not like Dennis can't win on any given day. It definitely is.
For sure.
Like, even in a long race, I mean, Dennis is gonna, challenge Alex and win some long sessions for sure. But the way, like the way Alex beat Tony compared to the way
I was trying not to say it.
Tony, it was different. I think Alex made Tony frustrated and beat him a different way.
Mike Davis, you ruined it.
Yeah, because they can go and adapt their style so sick, man.
What's that?
I said you ruined
the
it.
number one. Surprise.
You ruined the number one. We were trying to hold out.
Sorry.
The cat had you distracted.
It's
Well, you're going to edit it anyway, so.
Dennis is on. I do think it's those two guys and then everyone else. And yeah, when you said that, Mike, you're absolutely right. Though I mean, the way that Dennis beats Tony is completely different than the way Alex beats Tony. You hit it nail on the head. I never even thought about it like that. I think they're gonna. I heard that they're gonna play. I don't know how much on the table it's gonna go and be, like, how legitimate, but yeah. I heard they're trying to go and make it happen for next year.
I gave up 2-to-1 odds each day, not for the whole set. I gave up 2-to-1 odds for the race to 10 each day.
Wow.
And
with
I won,
Tony and Alex. With Tony and Alex.
Yeah.
I would have bet you. I would have lost some money there.
Well, I mean,
you would have taken Tony to beat Alex?
With
2-to-1 each day?
Yeah.
I was gambling.
Well,
I was definitely gambling.
On the money though, but you're not saying 5 to 10
on the money each day though, Mike.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll do it again, but I got away with it that time.
All right, let me jump in because we're starting to talk about Alex. And so obviously Dennis Ercolo comes in at number 2, and number 1 on the power rankings is Alex Pagulayan. So have at it, boys.
I got to toot my own horn here. The only time I played Alex in my life was at Derby City, and I won. I might drop the mic. But no, I mean, what makes Alex unique is that he's probably the most well-rounded player in the world. I mean, he's got the snooker background. He's got the straight pull, unbelievable straight pull player, unbelievable 8-ball, caroms, Taiwanese carom. He plays world class. I mean, this guy, anything with a pool ball and a pool cue, he's going to execute better than 99.9% of the rest of the world. I think that's what separates him from everybody else. And he's got, he's been on the road his whole life. I mean, the guy's, since he hit puberty, he's been on the road. He lives out of his suitcase. And there's value to that, to a guy who's literally dedicated his life to the sport. And here's the sickest part about Alex. I'm going to tell you guys the sickest part. Alex gets bored with pool. So Alex goes and plays poker for 6 months to a year and just doesn't pick up a pool cue. I know this because I've been in the Philippines with him. And he says, yeah, I haven't played since last Derby or whatever. Usually he loses enough in poker to come back into pool and get ready for the derby again. But I mean, Alex, he's incredibly smart guy. If you ever talk to him, he's incredibly well educated. I remember one time he gave me probably the best piece of advice I've ever heard. He told me you tried too hard, and he was very drunk at this time. But he analyzes things, and he reads a lot. So his mental game is very strong because he reads a lot of sports psychology books. There's a reason why he's the best player in the world at one pocket, I think, because it incorporates so many strokes and disciplines all into one, and he shines because he does everything at the highest level.
What do you got?
What say you, Mike?
I mean, I like where he went with the mental game and just like the way, Alex is very smart, and he's just improved his whole approach to life over the years, basically. Like, I remember when he was young, I mean, obviously he likes to gamble, he likes to play poker like you're talking about, but he liked to drink a little too much maybe. He just, he didn't have his priorities 100%, but then he changed the way he was eating and just changed all sorts of things like that to make himself a better competitor, a healthier person. And it showed, like it really showed just his whole approach to life. It's almost like Bruce Lee just trying to constantly be a sponge and learn more and more and become, grow and be a better person, a smarter person. And it's translated into his game. That's part of why he's got the, like the best mental game maybe ever. And his heart too. Like I remember when he first got playing Shane beat him the very first 3 times that they gambled playing 10 ball. Each time Alex was like, well, where are you going to be next? And he was like changing his schedule to chase Shane around. If Shane was like, well, I'm going to the Music City Open next week, Alex is like, I'll see you there. And he wanted to play him again. And then he beat him like 6 times in a row after that. That's Alex. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you beat Alex, he's going to chase you around and play and play and play until he becomes the better player, until he wins. Like the guy just too much heart. He's never going to give up until he's the best. So,
Molina,
I think it's no question what he brings. Yeah, I don't think there's any question where he's at in the grand scheme of things. If I had to go and nitpick any part of his game, it's just the pocketing part. I think Dennis is a little bit better in that regard, but he's a fan favorite. He's so sick, and he can beat you a number of different ways. I've seen a few times whenever him and Dennis are playing, and they're really trying. When those two are going at it, it's something real special to go and watch, because I think they both just anticipate what each other are going to go and do. It's two masters battling each other, And even if it goes down table and there's a wedge and all that shit, it's still great. He banks the balls great. I don't got anything negative to go and say, and I guess that's why he's at number 1. I hope we do get to go and see that matchup. I think it's going to be tough because they're both Filipinos, and we know how that shit goes. But I think it's something that the fans really, really want to go and see. I think there'd be action on both sides, though, for sure.
Yeah.
I was
from what I understand, even though they're both Filipinos, they're not super friendly. Like they
That's
are.
what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, they are, because they got like sometimes the same backer or mutual friends, whatever. But they're too much of a rivalry where they want to beat each other.
They're both competitive.
Yeah, exactly. They both want to be the best, so they're not too interested in being friends. They want to beat each other.
Yes. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I had the opportunity to commentate a tournament up at Griff's in Las Vegas, and Alex came in and practiced for about 4 hours, and he was breaking the balls and then essentially trying to run all 15 balls into one pocket, and he was betting a guy on the side doing it. And I've never seen anything like it, because he was successful at it like more times than he wasn't. He was making money doing it. And, he had balls up against rails that I'm like, how in the world is he going to do this? Or right next to a side pocket, and unbankable, and he'd find a way to make a ball, position himself to make a ball and nudge that ball to where it was bankable. or nudge that ball off the rail and then get behind it somehow on another shot. And so it was just so impressive. And, just watching him do that and see him stick at that for 4 hours and just grind it out, one ball after the next was really, really impressive. So huge Alex fan right here, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, probably my closing thoughts on Alex is one thing that he said that I never forgot. Alex said, I don't think I'm the best player in the world. I really don't. But whoever thinks they're the best player in the world, I want to play them. And I mean, if that doesn't tell you
who he is, what he's made of,
who he is, and how bad of a mother he is, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this boy's bad.
Yeah,
and
that's like the most inspirational quote I might have ever heard in my life,
Yeah, I mean, I want to put that in my pool hall. Honestly, I'm going to put some quotes in my
but
pool hall.
it's even sicker because he's in that like top level. So to go and say that and be serious about it is even more
exactly
inspiring.
He's serious about it. He's not just talking; he is dead serious about
He's
it.
dead serious,
for sure.
But anyways, that was I had to share that quote with you guys because it meant a lot to me, and it's something that I've held on to for a long time.
Yeah.
That's why they say the heart of a lion, huh?
Yeah. Well, hey guys, this has been so much fun. I think people are really going to love it. I want to thank you guys for your time. And would you guys be interested in coming back in a couple months, updating this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I got it recorded.
And put Efren and Josh Filler on the list.
I know, but I can't believe we dogged
Efren's
that.
retired.
And put Efren back, you donkeys. Oh, he deserves an honorable mention.
All right, we'll get him on.
Yeah, I mean, we need to do an all-time list, I think, at some point. Like, there needs to be, like, the greatest of all time where we can rank Efren and Cliff Joyner and see who, where people put Ronnie Allen.
Well, we need older people to
was
do that.
good.
We need older people to do that, Mike. Like, to get back
true.
to the Strawberry Brooks and, all the old.
I mean, do you see these grades? I'm getting pretty old.
Yeah, me too. I got you by a few years. Well, guys, thanks a lot. And for you guys out there viewing it, I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to hit up the comments. I want to hear what your top 15 is so we can kind of look at that and take a look at it and see where it flushes out according to our top 15. All right, guys, thanks for viewing. Don't forget to subscribe. See ya.